Hey, what up, y'all? It's your player partner, Cardo Mac, chilling here in Camarillo, California today with actress Christina Solis. You guys might know her as Babydoll from Mi Vida Loca.
Hi, Richard. So great to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome to Camarillo,
You have
California.
A beautiful home here.
Thank you so much.
So, could you tell us a little bit about your background? Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Oxnard, California, and that's
The 805.
The 805. Yes, shout out to all my friends in the 805 and family, which are here. Thank you for your support always. And I was born and raised in Oxnard, California. I went to school at Driftwell School, then Santa Clara High School. Then I met a boy, and I went to Oxnard High School, and I graduated from there. And from there, I decided that college wasn't for me, and I wanted to be an actor. So
right away, you knew that's something that you wanted to do?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I grew up always fantasizing about not being me. I don't know if a lot of other people do, but I just wanted to be anyone but myself. So I thought acting would be a great place to start.
At what age do you think that started?
Oh gosh, at a very young age. I felt like, you know how you watched a TV show for a half an hour? Well, when I was really little, I used to think, well, maybe somebody's watching me for a half an hour, because my reality and my fantasy were so connected that I thought acting was the natural thing to do. And and growing up with strong women as my role models, I just felt that there was nothing I couldn't do. So, was
there like certain roles that you had in mind that you wanted to play?
Anything but me. I think all I wanted to do was...
What was you? Describe you as a young age.
Oh gosh, just in a fantasy world. Just anybody but me. I mean, I was Barbie. I was a mother. I was a lawyer. I was a doctor. I was just anything, you know.
So when you got out of high school, you said you did a little bit of college or no college?
I did a little bit of college.
A little bit, yeah. And then you got out because that wasn't for you?
No.
And then at what point did you actually say, well, I want to be an actress, so what steps did you take to make that happen?
Well, I met a manager and was with my mother, and I was buying beer. And they carded me, and I was speaking Spanish, and there was a manager behind me, and she said, "Oh my God, you're 21 and you speak Spanish perfectly without an accent." And I was just like, okay. So
That's what got her attention.
Yeah. So she gave me her card, and I was like, well, you know, what are the odds? You know, this is, you know, crazy. And sure enough, she was a legit manager.
So is a manager different than what do you call it, an agent, or it's
Yes.
the same thing?
It's a little different, yeah. A manager it has a small group of people that they manage, and they groom them, and they just focus on them, where an agent is got more range of exposure, but they carry a lot of people. So, yeah. And so I didn't know anything much about it, but I was totally raw, and she was just really excited that I spoke Spanish, and I looked so young.
So she just gave you the number, and it was on you if you're going to call her or not?
Yeah. And I did, and she said I needed classes, and they had an acting coach named Ernie Lively, who is Blake Lively's father. I don't know if you guys know who Blake Lively is. Oh, well, she was like in Gossip Girl. She's pretty famous now, and so anyway, all of them were actors. He was Cooter on The Dukes of Hazzard. I don't know if you guys know.
I know of The Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay, so my acting coach was Cooter from The Dukes of Hazzard. So he in my acting class, it was amazing because it was like all the 90210 people, all the Melrose Place. Everyone was working. Like Seth Green was in my class. Who else? I don't know. Everybody was working. My acting coach was one of, like, he taught us how to get the job. He said, worry about the acting later.
So it was a small
obviously-
group, you said, huh? So you said you probably got more attention maybe to...
Right. Yeah, we got a lot of attention. So I started going out on auditions, and luckily I knew how to book a job, and so the rest was history.
So you actually started and you got the ball rolling, and did you get the support from your family when you started?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was tough because my sisters all went to college, got their bachelor's, master's. They expected the same for me.
So with that background, yeah, same, yeah.
Yeah. So I said, if they would just finance me for 1 year, if I didn't get a job, I would go be the best nurse or teacher or whatever. I'd just go to college and I'd do what they expected of me, right?
So you were depending on your family for that first year?
I was, yeah. And for 10 years, I never went a year without not working. So
they did show the support. That's good.
yes,
Yeah.
they did show support, and which was amazing because I guess with that confidence, with nothing to lose, no fear, I was able to.
How did they encourage you? Just financially, or did they like?
Just, I think this financial wasn't as important to me as the support.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, because it's hard at that age for someone to put you down, especially people you love. It's always like somebody that you need to impress, that you need validation from.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it from the right people.
So what was the actual first gig that you got?
Well, it was
Don't lie.
and don't lie. It was a 976 commercial, and it was in Spanish, and all they did was focus on my lips, and it was like, I don't know, like, call me, and it was bad. It was embarrassing. So, yeah.
So that was the first one. What was the second one?
My Steven Seagal, it was Out for Justice. I played Elena, and he tapped heart lead me, which means I could get my Sag card. And so, yeah, thanks to Steven Seagal, everything went smooth.
Could you explain to the viewers what a Sag card is?
A Sag card is it's a double-edged sword in Hollywood. You can't work without being in the union, and you can't get into the union without having a union job. So then that's when the producers or the makers of the movie say, we like you, and we're going to pay for you to get into the Screen Actors Guild, and without their nod, you can't get in. Now I think it's a little different. I think you can extra 3 times or something, and then you can get in. But before, it was different.
So acting is a union job? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's the last standing union. Yeah, it's a really good union.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So did you actually do TV shows or movies first?
I did movies first.
What was your first movie?
Out for Justice.
And what else did you do besides that?
Mi Vida Loca. I did a lot of independent movies, and I did everything in the 90s. I de-virginized Bud Bundy in...
Married with Children. Yeah. I saw that
Children.
yesterday.
Really? Okay.
Somebody put that little clip on YouTube. Just that clip where you're in it.
I played Esmeralda, and let me see. I worked a lot on USA and on Lifetime. I did John Larroquette. I did not ER, but the other one was Chicago Hope.
So did you have an agent by that
Moesha.
time, or that was still with your manager?
Oh yeah. Okay. So with my manager, I booked some up to Steven Seagal, and then I got a different manager, and then I went to a top 10 agency, which was APA, and then that's when all the
Bigger jobs started coming
yeah.
in? Was it what you were expecting, or?
Oh gosh,
Or it was more, or it was overwhelming?
More than I was expecting. Yeah, I mean, I never. It was almost like the odds of you making it in Hollywood are so low that you could get hit by lightning twice before you make it in Hollywood. That's what I was told. I don't know.
Do you have the option to decline a role, or if the manager tells you you have to do it, you have to do it?
No, you could decline. Yeah, definitely.
Were there any roles that you did decline?
There was roles I wish I would have declined, but yeah, there was roles that I double booked and I couldn't do.
Oh, for that reason, because
Yeah.
you're double booked. Okay. Now let's get into Mi Vida Loca. That's what the viewers want to hear about.
What? Maybe they're looking. Okay, yes.
So what was that, the actual audition like that day? Or how did that even come about? How'd you hear about it?
Well, that was my busiest time in my career, and my agent called and said I had this audition, and it was an actual really long process. It was really long.
So you read the script first and you liked it? Or what'd you think about it?
I was a little tentative about it because I did grow up in Oxnard. So in my cousins, they all were in the life, and I was sheltered from it. Like I was like not allowed. Like my dad was like, leave her out, just leave her alone. So I knew what the life was about, and I knew that you couldn't fake it, and you couldn't be something. You couldn't act like something that you weren't. You had to be real. You had to be 100. Snitches get stitches, like the whole thing, right? So I was a little nervous, yeah.
But you wanted to do it.
Of course I wanted to do it. It was a very, very new thing because there was very few actors and mostly gang members. So I was a little nervous that they wouldn't like me.
So did you actually audition for the part of Babydoll, or did you audition for a different part?
I auditioned for Sad Girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Angel Aviles got the job, and she's wonderful. And Allison Anders wrote in Babydoll for me.
Oh, just for you? Because she still wanted you in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh. So Allison Anders wrote in the part for you just for Babydoll, right?
Yes.
And what did you think when you read the script, when they added you in there?
Well, I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome because I could actually play her in a way that there's always that one girl that, knows everything, that kind of like just, I don't know, like, I don't want to say the slut, but just the one that's just like in everybody's, just knows everybody's business and doesn't give a damn, so that's kind of.
Did she let you create her look, or they told you how she was going to look?
They let me create her look. And they liked it. So.
And what inspired you to get that look? Is it from people that you used to see back then?
That was just me.
That's how you looked?
Yeah, that's how I looked. Yeah, I think I still wear that pink shirt and
Guess jeans.
Yeah. No, they weren't Guess jeans. But yeah. No, that was just me.
So what was the first day on set when you guys actually all got together? Like,
Well, we first had a meet and greet. We all met at Elysian Park or Griffith Park. And that's when it got real.
that's when they introduced the actors to the actual members that were
The
in the movie.
actual people from Echo Park, yeah. It was a strange vibe because the actors, even though we'd seen each other, we were competing against each other. So it was like we didn't really know each other that well. And it was like a junior high dance. They were all on one side and we were on one side, and in the end, and we were separated, because we were kind of it was just awkward, and soon,
Who actually introduced everybody to each other?
Allison did.
And how did that go?
It was just, I was fine with it because I felt like, they're not going to like me. I already know. But,
So you went in there with that mindset.
right, I'm like, yeah. And, but at the end of the day, it all went really well, and we bonded. It was good. And then when we started filming, I again thought, oh gosh, this is going to be rough, because I was afraid, because I could.
You knew how real it was.
I knew how real it was, and I knew that how I couldn't. I don't know. I just had my cousin Karina in my head, So I just mostly hung out with the locas, the Echo Park locas, and
They accepted you right away?
totally. They loved me. They started talking like me. So
To this day, you still even hang out with Vettel, right?
I
with
do.
Stranger? Shout out to Stranger.
Shout out to Stranger. And yeah, she's my road dog, or ride or die. And she's doing really well, by the way. And yeah, we just hung out all the time, and they would just be like, "Pinche Babydoll," and I don't even think they knew my name. I was just Babydoll, and they would just be cracking up on me, and yeah, they Whisper, Stranger, who else? Sad Eyes, like all of them, and the locals too.
You still keep in touch with some of them, or just Stranger? Or quite a few?
I keep in touch with Sad Eyes. She's in El Paso right now, and Stranger. I'm friends with Whisper on Facebook or on Instagram. The guys, we all still keep in touch. Yeah, all the actors, we all keep in touch. We bonded like crazy, and we're still really good friends. Especially Angel and I. So
As far as your first day on there, did you go like for a different scene, or just like to be overall just involved in the movie, or do you just would go just for your own scenes? We film how they film is per location. So everything in one room, no matter what day it is done in that room or that location. So our first day was the actual going to pick up with Giggles. It was the hottest day of the year. It was hell's. So it's not shot in order. They just
No,
shoot
it's not
locations
shot in
and
order.
they'll fix it later.
Right. Yeah, then they edit it in. So our first day was picking up Giggles, and our last day was picking up Giggles. So, yeah, because we started in Canyon Country, and then we ended at a women's prison somewhere.
Were you invited to all the scenes, or just the ones that you were involved in?
I was there pretty much every day, yeah. So that's why I bonded so much with the locals too, yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard in like other movie sets that they don't want like people mingling. They're just for the movie, and that's it.
Right. No, we were there the whole time.
So what was a typical day in the life of filming Mi Vida Loca?
they were always really early calls. So like 5 a.m. calls, makeup, hanging out, setting up. It just like any movie. It's hurry up and wait a lot. So
Was there a lot of comedy involved with everybody just messing
Oh my
around on the set,
gosh.
or was it too serious?
You know the star power that was there that we didn't even realize yet. I mean, Danny Trejo, Salma Hayek. I don't know if you know
Jesse Borrego?
Jesse Borrego. Everybody. It was like everybody's like first movie. I think Danny Trejo. It was his first movie out of prison.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was incredible. The Culture Clash. Do you know Culture Clash is?
Yeah, somebody mentioned it to me not that long ago. Yeah.
Troupe. So Richard was there. Oh my gosh, everybody was just amazing, and starting out, and everyone was an ingenue, and it was great.
Was there any scary moments on set?
The jump-in scene when we were jumping in, Mousy and Sad Girl. That day was a little bit kind of scary
Because of stuff off scene, or because of just that scene?
because we weren't sure if they were really serious about jumping them in. So yeah, it was kind of crazy.
You were just there.
No, I was one of the jumper in. I was already jumped in, so I was like, cool. So, but they were scared.
You didn't do any of the jumping?
No, I mean, no, I did, but it was staged.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So when the movie came out in theaters, what was the reaction of the audience, and how well did it do in the box office?
It did really well. It did really well It did really well in Cannes. It did really well at all the film festivals, and I believe the movie was made for $1 million, and I think it cleared that in the first day. So
The first day, wow.
that was good for an independent movie back then.
As far as in the street, what kind of reaction were people getting that you would hear?
I really just kept working, and I really didn't.
You didn't think much of it.
No.
It was just a movie, and you kept going.
I just kept going. I just kept going, and I worked a lot after that. And it wasn't until, gosh, about 10 years ago that I realized that
How big it actually
how
was.
big it actually was. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I kept going. I got married. I stopped acting, and I hadn't even thought about my acting career for ever. And then when my husband died, Angel told me, Mi Vida Loca is like has this like revival, like people are really into it. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and it's become a cult classic. And
You weren't aware of it.
I was
Crazy.
not aware of it, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And thank you for everyone. I mean, I think that Mi Vida Loca saved my life, because I think I was at my lowest point when I realized that people cared. So it's just and it's amazing to be able. Now we go to meet and greets all over the country and talk to girls. Talk to people who are fans, and I'm shocked at how young our fan base is, and how much people all over the country connect with Mi Vida Loca, and how this one particular neighborhood, Echo Park, is everywhere, all over the country. We're in Idaho, in Ohio, everywhere. I mean, there's Latinos, Chicanos living in neighborhoods going through this and really relate to these girls.
And you mentioned the fan base was it varies in age. Like you would think it would have been from that period on forward, but
Right.
no, because people still relate to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
these little girls come up to us, and I'm like, "Where's your mom?" And they're like, "No," and it's so great that they were raised on this movie, and so yeah, their grandma passed it on to their mother, and their mother to their kids, and I don't think it's the best movie to show your little kid, but hey, it's relatable, and that's the other thing is that like if this is still the movie that Chicana girls relate to, then I think that's a problem, because Latinas should be making newer, better movies now, I think.
And it just kind of stayed there. Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't. I think there should be more movies made about Latin girls in different scenarios,
More
'cause
about success,
We're
yeah.
everything. We're everything. And I feel that it's time for young girls to step up and make some movies.
It's long overdue. Yeah.
Long overdue, yeah.
So, what was your actual favorite scene from the movie?
My favorite scene was Ernesto breaking it down to Whisper about the whole game,
How it's done.
hysterical. How it's done. That's hysterical to me. I mean, that was just brilliant, because he just nailed it. And yeah, that was my favorite.
And there's comedy in there too. It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny and it was true, and it was just, I don't know, it was just great. I just loved that monologue.
What about a scene that you were in?
Definitely the car scene.
The bomb. That was my
Yeah.
favorite scene that you were in.
Yeah. I also like just talking about El Duran too, just about how, he comes in, steals your heart, runs away like a bandit or something
He was
like
a
that.
powerful
I
character
love
in that movie. I like that movie.
I think Babydoll had the best lines. She did. Like love is blind. You got to do what you got to do. Mi corazón por vida. Gosh.
Everyone still quotes that to this day.
Yes. Yeah. I was blind, homegirl.
So did you keep anything from the actual movie, like as a souvenir?
I did. I kept my cross. I kept my shoes. And I have my poster. And
Was that all from the set,
actually
or
kept all my clothes. Yeah.
was that your personal clothes, or
No.
That was all from the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they let you take it, or you just took it?
No, they let you. Yeah, they do. What are they going to do with it? So, yeah, and we just kind of did wear it like every day. So,
If you have it handy somewhere, maybe you can show it to us later.
Okay.
If it's not, to put away.
okay, I'll show you all my little like scrapbook from the movie.
Okay. So the movie came out in 1992, right?
Yes,
So it's almost 30 years later that it came out, and it became a cult classic.
it is a cult classic
Why do you think it has such a strong impact on people?
because I think that it touches it because it's so close to real life. I think that it's this one neighborhood, but it's every neighbor, Latino or Chicano neighborhood across the country and even into other countries, I think.
And there hasn't been another movie that came even close to it.
No, it's the first and only of its kind. Yeah.
So recently, you guys have started doing the meet and greets too, that we mentioned earlier, right?
Yes.
But well, this year was kind of bad because of the pandemic. But
Yeah.
do you plan on doing any more
I hope
once
so.
the pandemic's over?
I hope so. Yeah.
That's actually where we met at Curious Entertainment with George.
That was
at
our
the
first
meet and
one.
greet. Yeah.
That was our first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to Japan because Japan has such a huge Chicano culture.
Japan promoters, hit her up.
Sad Girl Japan. So yeah, I would love to go to Japan, to Nagoya, where it's the Cholo culture is huge.
They just adopted the whole
They
lifestyle over
just-
there.
Yeah, they did, and
Seen
they're
a few documentaries.
yeah, and it's very I'm flattered myself. You know, I don't think that they're doing anything that is.
It's not disrespectful.
It's not
They're
disrespectful.
honoring it.
It's an honor. Yeah.
As far as meet and greets go, what kind of impact do you think you guys have directly on the people when you meet them?
Oh my gosh, it's so humbling and so they've gotten bigger.
Because I've seen the lines that you guys
Yes.
cause, and like the looks on the people's face, how excited they are to meet you guys.
Oh my gosh, and the stories that we hear, it's just so it just. I mean, they have me crying. I mean, just like how. I mean, I just hear so many stories about growing up and how the movie just how it impacted them and how it caused them to even change their lives. And I don't think that 30 years ago we would be able to have gone to meet and greets because it was a different climate in as far as like the hostility. Mm-hmm. And I think that maybe the Loca has like it's united Latinas, Chicanas, women, and empowered them to be something other than that. I don't know. Maybe they people watch the movie and say, "Oh, I act like her," and you know, and they don't like it and they change it, or yeah.
Some people that don't understand will take it in a negative way because they don't understand what the movie's about.
Unless you lived it. Yeah. And even if you haven't lived it, it's a very touching love. It's a love story. It's a friendship. It's about friends. It's about women empowering each other and forgiving. It's about forgiveness. It's about love. It's about unity. It's about, at the end of the day, your culture, your family is who's going to be there. No matter what you've done, your family and where you come from and your neighborhood will always have your back.
One question that all the fans always ask, part 2. Do you think there will ever be a part 2?
I don't think there'll be a part 2 per se, but
Maybe a spin-off?
maybe. I can't say, but because of the pandemic, something was stopped, but we'll see.
Is that something you would be interested in, though, or do you think we should just leave it as is?
Oh, I think we should leave the movie as is. I think it's a classic. A part 2, I don't know. I don't think that.
You think it's just too late to start a part 2?
It would. I think there's other ways to do a part 2. We'll just say that.
Gotta be creative.
No, I mean, like they are creative. So yeah, there's. Yeah.
Changing the topic, one thing I like to review with my guests is if they have any tattoos. Do you have any tattoos for yourself?
I do. I have Solis on my ankle. Yeah, my whole family. Shout out to my Solis fam. Yeah, we all have our name tattooed on ourselves. And then I have my tramp stamp.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that one?
Oh, 30.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a sword. It's St. Barbara's sword, and it's pointing up. St. Barbara is the patron saint of love, of war and peace, and so I have it up, so she has my back all the time.
Oh, so it has meaning behind it. Yeah.
There's my Solis.
Was that your first tattoo?
That was my first tattoo, and then I got. You want to see my tramp stamp?
That's the sword with the.
It's well, it kind of faded because of my pregnancies.
And you got that one when you were 30, you said?
31.
31.
Yeah.
What about the one on your ankle?
29.
Oh, you got them pretty close then.
Yeah. I was just like having a midlife crisis already.
So
So why not?
yeah, exactly. So
Oh, one thing I forgot to ask you. My boy Raul,
yes.
he wanted to ask. Pregúntale.
Okay, that will be in Spanish, all right? ¿Cuántas veces has mirado la película de Mi Vida Loca desde que participaste?
Oh, creo que no muchas. Quizá como 6 veces.
6 veces.
Sí, sí. La última vez que la miré fue en un teatro y me gustó mucho. La primera vez que la vi, ay, no, ni me podía ver. Y me daba mucha vergüenza verme, pero ahora me da mucho orgullo. Sí.
Gracias. Currently, you joined the CBD business, right?
I did.
Could you tell us a little bit about it, or for those that don't know what CBD is?
CBD is cannabis. It's a part of the cannabis plant that doesn't get you high. It's used for many issues. I started
Not just pain.
Not just pain. I use it for anxiety. I have social anxiety. I have ADD. I have sleeping. I have insomnia. I have aches and pains. And I took it. When I was going to Arizona with the girls. We were doing a meet and greet, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna hate me because like."
Why do you think that? They're going to see you.
Because no, because we usually travel separately, and that time we all traveled together, and so I'm like, "Oh no," and we drove. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to just drive everybody crazy because I can't stay still, you know? So I'm like, I have to get up.
Oh, you're talking about the people in the car, right?
Yeah, in the car. Oh my God. So anyways, they had gummies or something. And I'm like, oh no, you know, like I don't do that. But I did. And it was like, wow, I could stay still. I was like paying attention. I was like, I felt normal. And like, like, this is awesome. Like, where do we get more? And like, so.
Was that the first time you heard about that?
That's the first time I heard about it and did it in actual CBD. So, it wasn't like smoking flower, which, you know, I didn't like want the smell. I didn't want the high and the whole thing. So, it made, I was just like so intrigued by the whole thing. But I looked into it, and I was looking for, you know, looking for something new to get into. And
before you were a wine distributor, weren't
yeah,
you?
but that was like for fun. But this is, I just thought, it's just the future. Like, is this a great industry to get into? It's still brand new. Most people don't know what it is, what it does, but everyone is going to be using it in some form.
You think it's a matter of time till?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Till, yeah, the word gets out.
Yeah. So we don't only do CBD, but we have lots of new stuff and launching a new line in January. This January, it hasn't dropped yet, but I'm really excited about it. So, yeah.
So if people want to buy some of the CBD off of you, how do they reach out to you?
Social media. It's completely online, and you could just hit me up on IG at yes_Babydoll or on Facebook at Christina Solis Karen.
And then you'll deal with them directly?
Yes.
What about advice for people that want to get into the acting industry?
Oh, goodness. My advice to people, as far as anything goes, is if not you, who? If not now, when? Just do it. It's not a matter. I mean, I think that there was nothing special about me as opposed to anyone else. I just showed up. I did it. So it's about showing up, Google it. Do whatever it is you have to do. Nothing can stop
Nowadays, you can do so much yourself.
Yes, do whatever it is, and have integrity about it. Know your worth and do the work. You have to do the work and get out there and do it. But specifically for acting, just be around the right people. Just jump into it. It's a small world. Eventually, it is.
Really, everybody knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yes. Eventually, you're going to
network. Yes.
Network. Yeah. My acting coach, Cooter, Ernie Lively, used to say, if you stay on the train track long enough, you're going to get hit by a train. And sure enough, it'll happen.
It'll happen?
Yeah.
What about shout outs before we go?
Shout out to my family right here. My Caesar, who's like my ride or die as well.
She said your name. That's what you wanted.
And Caesar Solis, my big sea dog, and my Desiree, Desired Bodies, for cupping, for massaging, anything you want, hit her up on IG. And Rick's from Custom Creations. Of course, all my girls from Mi Vida Loca, Stranger, Sad Girl, Mousy, My Heart. Just, oh my gosh, all my friends on IG, all my friends on Facebook. Thank you for all your support.
I want to thank you once again, Christina, for inviting me here to your beautiful home. This interview is a long time coming.
It is, yeah.
I asked you a long time ago, but thank you for doing it.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you a lot.
Okay.
Thank you. See you guys later. Peace.